Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Penumbra Overture. We'll play on normal. My story began in February, year 2000.
For my part in this allegory, I'm not going to make the same mistakes my father made. Howard vanished from my mother's life before I was even in it, so when he sent me a letter a few days after Mum's funeral, it was the first I'd ever heard from him. Pity he was dead. Writing from beyond the grave must be a genetic habit in my bloodline. His letter contained a key, instructions, pleas for forgiveness. I figured the dead don't have much use for absolution, so I turned to his prophetic passing, which he inexplicably expected to come any day. Clearly averse to explanations, my father preferred to leave directions to a bank on Mayfair I'd never even heard of. In that bank was a safety deposit box in his name, and myself as executor. Of course, I went, as he knew I would. I discovered that despite the evidence, he'd been legally declared dead almost 30 years ago, and so the old book and collection of notes I found had, in the eyes of the law, been mine all this time. My father's instructions were to burn the documents, raise no further questions. But that was his error. No man's immune to the shameful trappings of curiosity, and my humanity got the better of me. The university I taught at was world renowned for two things: physics and linguistics. I represented the first, and the man who stood for the second was stumped by my recent acquisition. The book was indecipherable. The notes, however, showed a location somewhere in uninhabited northern Greenland. It took me almost a year to book the last flight I'd ever take. As I watched civilization disappear along with Heathrow, I realised my father had disappeared 3 decades ago, almost to the day, and I considered in turn what it was that I was leaving behind. We landed on a strip of ice a few feet wide, and within minutes I was pulling away on a chartered boat, beginning the 12-hour journey that would lead me into my past.
Spooky. Finally, we're almost docked. I'd better stow my gear. I may be far from home, but chances are I can still pick things up using left mouse. I can take a closer look at things using right mouse. Well, that's not what I meant to do. I think I left my torch in the desk drawer next to the bed. It can be opened using the left mouse on it, holding the button down and moving the mouse. So here's a little tutorial. Padlock. Key. Damn it. How do I do this again? Not that. Well. Oh. That's not what I meant to do. I have somehow... There we go. I'm certain this map's a good decade or so out of date, but landmarks don't change much from Greenland, so I've got a pretty decent idea of where I'm heading. That's good. Fuck this chair. Dearest Eric, just a note before you set sail and leave me once again. I've left you a little something to remember me by in the chest at the foot of your bed. I really don't know why you still only have one bed on board. Taking shifts because of it is no way to get your rest. But what does a fisherman's wife know of life at sea? I'll be praying every night for you to make the catch you need, so that you can come home to me safely, and soon. Please don't be gone for 5 weeks like last time. I know I might nag sometimes, but I do love you, you know. I've washed those overalls of yours. I know you'll get them covered in assorted fish parts in no time. But I still feel better knowing that you've had a wash. Before I forget, the Henriksons in the village have asked me to see if you'll be coming by any trout. But I said they were mostly out of season. If you do happen upon any, don't say anything. Stow them well in the ice, and I'll do something special with them to celebrate when you come home to me. The ship's captain deserves a special little treatment once in a while. Take care, my love. Oh. Flashlight. Hey. Now where's that emergency close stick? Should still be in the locker. Keys in my inventory. Yeah, I know the keys in my inventory. What do I do with it? How do I make key work? Damn it, game. Explain to me. Close the drawer. Oh, there we go. Swear to God I was doing that before. Batteries. Glow stick. Can press the G. Nice. Alright. Leads out onto the deck, but I don't fancy braving that weather until I have to. Oh. Playboy poster. It's nice some things don't change no matter how far you are from home. I don't know why that picture of fish is so blurry. Oh well. As I stepped off the boat, setting out into the blizzard that had formed around me, I realized how utterly devoted I'd been to the discovery of my father's past. I had no idea what to expect. Soon enough, my concerns were justified. I don't know whether I lost my orientation or my spirit first, but I lost feeling in my extremities soon after, and knew hypothermia was setting in. I started looking for shelter. So cold. Don't know where I am. Need shelter soon. My entire head went numb a long time ago, and I can still hear the wind roaring past. Or is that some kind of animal? If I click and hold the interact button, I should just about manage to pick up that rock. The cold's made me weak, but I can still throw things using the examine button when I'm carrying something. If I use interact mode, I can swing the stone more accurately. I hope to God it's not frozen inside as well. But if I just use interact mode, I should be able to spin that wheel. What side do you think opens? I think any of them do? Doesn't seem to want to. Also not both way. It seems to be pretty... There we go. Let's get on. Jesus, my head. I can't believe I fell that far and survived. Although looking around, maybe I didn't. What is this place? Should have known that rusty old ladder wouldn't hold my weight, but I didn't have any choice. I'd rather die down here than suffer that cold any longer. Empty boxes of ammunition. What is this place? Steel rod. So you may be thinking this game's a knockoff of Amnesia, but that's actually the other way around. Amnesia is a knockoff of Penumbra. I wouldn't call either one a knockoff really, but if you're gonna call one a knockoff, that would be it. Let's see, I can swing this hammer if I hold left mouse. I can make the back swing by pulling the mouse right, and then follow through by pushing left. The opposite works too. Pulling back and then twisting forward produces a stabbing motion. I reckon if I hold down right mouse after the backswing, I should still be able to look around. 24-hour ration pack. Let's turn my lights on. Empty box of ammunition. That's something. A metal shelf. Huh. Just the door. Alright. Let's see if I can't... Oh, jeez. Pull that out. Oh. Turns out they won't pull off with my bare hands. Well, Hammer. I don't think we need these for now. Maybe I'll toss that up now. I might actually toss the, I don't want to combine the hammer and the flare. There we go. Padlock. Why I've just got to end a padlock, I do not know. There we go. I'd actually like to explore a little bit more before I do. Oop. Yep. Pays to be diligent. Must be something in the way. God damn it. Let's just pull you over. Come on. As much as I'd love to keep the flashlight on because I'm sure it's easier for you guys, I unfortunately don't have the resources to keep that thing burning forever. Huh. Well, I think it's just a little fucked up cavern. That seems to just be a big loop, so I guess we have to go in here. Looks like some kind of industrial mechanism. Oh, there's a hole in the center and no way to operate it. Well. There we go. Hatch opened. Let's just move that out of the way. It's good to be able to get around. Whatever I was descending into, it was 100 feet below ground, protected by two solid metal hatches, located in a remote Arctic wilderness and buried beneath the snow. I didn't know what to expect, but it made me feel something I hadn't felt since I was a child. I'd never given it much thought before, but I realized that our entire society is a network of safety nets. Emergency services at the end of a phone line, health and safety in the workplace, friends, family, lovers, all there if something goes wrong. Part of a carefully designed structure to prevent all but the most mundane of emotions. Once again, I felt like I did when I was in school, surrounded by a closing ring of older kids. Knowing anyone that might help me, friends, parents, teachers, were too scared, or too far away. Box. There could be anything living down here, or except for Hollywood actors and fairy tales. I'm not taking any chances. If I face off against anything down here, I won't last a second. Caution and stealth are my only defenses now. If anyone or anything hears me, it'd be best off staying low and out of sight until I know whether or not it's a threat. Crouching by pressing left control will give me the chance to hide in the shadows. I'll know I've got it right because of the blue tint to my vision. Plus, I should be quiet enough that I won't be heard unless something's right on top of me. Better remember to shut off any light sources though. My best bet is to hide perfectly still for a couple of seconds or so. That'll make me properly hidden. Let's see. So the exit's probably where we are. Oh yeah, there's a little red circle. Office over there, explosives, northern area, storage, workshop. Let's go see if we can't get in the office. A large wooden box. Not much to it, is there?